In the heart of America, where the ideals of freedom and democracy are woven into the very fabric of daily life, a new chapter in the ongoing struggle for justice is being written. Across city streets and courthouse steps, a powerful fight for justice is unfolding, one that echoes the voices of countless individuals who have come before, demanding fairness and equality. At the center of this movement stands Mahmoud Khalil, a 30-year-old Columbia University graduate and passionate Palestinian activist. Khalil is not just a name in the headlines. He is a symbol of resilience and hope for many who feel marginalized or unheard. As a legal permanent resident, Khalil has taken the extraordinary step of filing a $20 million claim against the Trump administration. His lawsuit challenges the government's authority to silence dissent, raising critical questions about the boundaries of free speech and the rights of immigrants in America. His case has quickly become a rallying point for those who believe their voices are being suppressed, inspiring a diverse coalition of supporters who see their own struggles reflected in his. Khalil's journey is nothing short of remarkable. From his days as a campus activist at Columbia University to his current battle in the federal courtroom, he has remained steadfast in his commitment to justice. An Algerian national, born in Syria, Khalil came to America with the hope of embracing the promise of liberty and equal rights. His activism during the 2024 pro-Palestinian protests thrust him into the national spotlight and put him on a direct collision course with the government, leading to a harrowing ordeal that would test his resolve and courage. Khalil now accuses the government of false arrest, malicious prosecution, and defamation, alleging that his rights were trampled simply because he dared to speak out for what he believed in. He argues that he was punished not for any crime, but for his advocacy and his willingness to challenge the status quo, making his case a touchstone for free speech and civil liberties. Mahmoud Khalil's story forces us to confront the limits of government power, the meaning of justice in America today, and the enduring importance of standing up for one's beliefs, even when the odds seem insurmountable. Before the lawsuit, Mahmoud Khalil was a respected student leader at Columbia University, known for his commitment to social justice and his ability to bring together students from diverse backgrounds. He was deeply involved in campus life, organizing events and discussions that encouraged dialogue and understanding among students of all faiths and nationalities. During the 2024 pro-Palestinian protests, Khalil emerged as a key negotiator and spokesperson. He worked tirelessly to represent the voices of students demanding that the university divest from companies linked to the Israeli military. His role was not just about protest, but about building bridges. He met with university officials, organized peaceful demonstrations, and helped draft statements that articulated the students' demands with clarity and conviction. Khalil's activism was rooted in a deep moral conviction. He opposed policies, not people, and was outspoken in condemning all forms of hate, including anti-Semitism. He made it clear that the movement was about justice and human rights, not about targeting any group or individual. His message, "I don't want my tax or tuition money invested in weapons used for genocide," resonated with many students who felt their voices had long been ignored. Khalil's words inspired others to join the movement, and he quickly became a symbol of principled student activism on campus. The protests soon drew national attention, with news cameras and reporters descending on Columbia. The movement's visibility brought both support and backlash, and government officials began issuing warnings, especially to foreign students, threatening their visas and academic futures. Despite these warnings, Khalil continued his advocacy, believing that his legal status as a student in the United States protected his right to peaceful protest. He encouraged others to know their rights and to stand firm in the face of intimidation. As Khalil's profile grew, so did government scrutiny. He was interviewed by national media, and his words were dissected by officials looking for any reason to take action against him. Authorities began quietly building a case against him, not for any criminal acts but for his speech, his associations, and his leadership in the movement. Surveillance increased, and his activities were closely monitored. They accused him of supporting Hamas and anti-Semitism, despite a lack of evidence. The accusations were widely circulated in the media, putting Khalil under intense public scrutiny and pressure. Throughout it all, Khalil insisted that his advocacy was always about human rights and international law. He believes his message was deliberately twisted to silence pro-Palestinian voices, but he remained steadfast in his commitment to justice and peaceful activism. On March 8, 2025, Mahmoud Khalil's life changed in an instant. What began as an ordinary evening in New York quickly spiraled into a nightmare that neither he nor his family could have anticipated. As he walked down a busy city street, Mahmoud was suddenly surrounded and detained by plainclothes federal agents. There was no warning, no explanation, and no warrant presented. The bustling city around him seemed to freeze as he was taken away, leaving behind only confusion and fear. Back at home, his family waited anxiously, unaware of what had happened. His lawyers, desperate for answers, found themselves stonewalled by authorities. Hours turned into days, and the silence grew heavier, amplifying their worry and helplessness. Mahmoud had simply vanished. This tactic, making someone disappear without a trace, is often used to disorient, intimidate, and break the spirit of both the detainee and their loved ones. The city, once familiar, now felt haunted by his absence. Eventually, after a harrowing period of uncertainty, it was revealed that Mahmoud had been transported overnight, far from New York, to a remote ICE facility in Jena, Louisiana. Isolated in a rural area, he was cut off from his family, friends, and legal support, making it nearly impossible to mount a defense or even communicate. Civil rights advocates argue that this is a deliberate strategy, one designed to isolate detainees, hinder their access to justice, and discourage others from speaking out. The system, they say, is stacked against those caught in its web. The most painful consequence of Mahmoud's detention was deeply personal. While he was held in Louisiana, his wife gave birth to their son Dean, alone in a hospital room. The joy of welcoming a new life was overshadowed by his absence. Mahmoud missed this irreplaceable moment, a loss that can never be recovered. Watching videos and seeing photos of his newborn from behind bars, he felt the true human cost of his ordeal, a pain that lingers long after release. For Mahmoud, the fight for justice is not just about legal rights, it's about reclaiming stolen moments, restoring dignity, and ensuring that no one else has to endure such suffering in silence. Khalil's story is a stark reminder of the personal tragedies hidden behind politically motivated arrests, stories of families torn apart, of hope tested, and of resilience in the face of injustice. For 104 days, Khalil endured harsh conditions at the Jena ICE detention center. Lights were kept on 24/7, causing exhaustion and disorientation, a tactic condemned by human rights groups. The food was nearly inedible, and Khalil lost significant weight. He was denied medication for a pre-existing condition. Despite this, Khalil used his skills to help fellow detainees, holding office hours to assist with legal paperwork and translation. He became a respected figure, offering support in a bleak environment. His leadership was quiet but impactful, rooted in solidarity and mutual aid. Even while separated from his newborn son and facing deportation, he dedicated himself to others. This period revealed his resilience and commitment to community. Khalil's time in detention was marked by suffering, but also by acts of service and hope. Upon release, Khalil fought back through the legal system, filing a $20 million claim against the government. The lawsuit targets DHS, ICE, and the State Department for false arrest, malicious prosecution, defamation, and retaliation for free speech. Khalil's goal isn't personal enrichment, it's accountability. He's offered to drop the monetary demand for a public apology and policy change protecting pro-Palestinian speech. If awarded damages, he's pledged to support other targeted activists. The lawsuit details the government's actions, from warrantless arrest to harsh detention. His legal team argues this is a dangerous overreach of executive power, using vague laws to punish political opinions. Khalil's case challenges the legality of suppressing dissent in America. The Trump administration has responded with denials and counter-accusations, claiming their actions were lawful and necessary for national security. DHS spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin dismissed Khalil's claim, portraying him as a threat rather than a peaceful activist. The government invoked a rare immigration law, arguing Khalil's presence could harm foreign policy, even without criminal charges. Critics warn this sets a dangerous precedent, deporting legal residents for their beliefs. Authorities accused Khalil of supporting Hamas and antisemitism, but provided no evidence. Khalil and supporters call these smears designed to discredit the pro-Palestinian movement. The administration's strategy conflates criticism of Israeli policy with hate, aiming to silence dissent. The legal battle now centers on whether Khalil is a threat or a victim of political retaliation. At the heart of Khalil's activism is a simple, unwavering message: opposition to genocide and the protection of human life. His quote, "I don't want my tax or tuition money invested in weapons used for genocide," is the ethical core of his stance. Khalil has consistently condemned antisemitism, clarifying his criticism targets policies, not people. He insists he has no ties to terrorism despite government accusations. His ordeal has left deep scars, but he channels his suffering into a broader fight for justice. Khalil sees his experience as part of a larger pattern of suppression against pro-Palestinian voices. He's fighting not just for himself, but for others silenced by fear. His message is one of hope, resilience, and a demand for America to live up to its ideals. On June 20, 2025, after 104 days in detention, a federal judge ordered Khalil's release, calling the government's deportation attempt likely unconstitutional. Supporters celebrated, but Khalil's freedom remains precarious. The Trump administration has opened a new front, now alleging inaccuracies on his green card application. His lawyers call this charge baseless and retaliatory, a desperate attempt to punish him for his activism. Khalil still faces the threat of deportation, living under constant legal pressure. The government's persistence sends a chilling message to other activists. Dissent carries a high price. Khalil's case is now a multi-front war, with his lawsuit running parallel to ongoing deportation efforts. His future in the U.S. hangs in the balance, the outcome uncertain. Mahmoud Khalil's case is more than one man's fight. It's a test of American democracy. At stake is whether free speech is a right for all or a privilege for those who align with government policy. The outcome will impact activists, immigrants, and anyone who values dissent. If the government succeeds, it could chill speech and embolden further crackdowns. Khalil's hope is that the courts will reaffirm the nation's commitment to free speech and accountability. A victory would send a powerful message. Justice and the right to dissent are protected in America. A loss could signal a dangerous erosion of these fundamental values.